Welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report. Baseball fans here to talk about the divisional series with Uncle Paul and Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt. The Cubs, Tigers, and Phillies survive. Well, the Phillies are still playing, but we're going to assume it's 8-1 that they survived, and the Yankees did not. Paul, your feelings?
I think Toronto showed itself to be a much better team. The Yankees starting pitcher was very good, as he was in his last start against the Red Sox, and they just have some clutch hits. They don't hit a lot of home. They didn't even hit a home run, but they can hit the ball. They put it in play, and they don't strike out. And those are tipping factors in a short series like that, I think.
Going to be awfully tough to beat. You know, the Mariners, if they get there, I think that'll be a pretty good series. If the Tigers get there, Scooble has to pitch Game 5 here. Only going to be available twice at the most. Things are starting to tilt toward the Blue Jays, aren't they?
How good do the Blue Jays feel tonight? Not only do they put their divisional foes away, but then they get to sit back tomorrow and watch Scooble be used if the Tigers advance, and the Mariners have to throw out some good pitchers too. So they can just sit back.
Be all hands on deck for the Mariners. They're going to be throwing.
And then the Blue Jays can just rest a day and enjoy the spectacle.
Toronto's offense is pretty scary. They just are aggressive at the plate. They hit the ball very well, and their pitching is, I didn't think it was maybe as good, but it was effective enough against the Yankees. It'll be interesting. They get some time, a little bit of time off to see who they face. I do think Toronto is looking like a team that is capable of winning the World Series. Now, the question is, when does Aaron Boone get fired by the Yankees?
I hope it's tomorrow. I really want to like the Yankees. I want to cheer for the Yankees with my Uncle Paul, and Aaron Boone makes it impossible. I still think the champion's coming out of the National League. I think the best three teams are in the National League.
I don't know about Boone's job. They did fend off the Red Sox. I'm sure that helped him a lot.
What's he done to continue to earn this job?
I think he and Brian Cashman see eye to eye, but I don't know. I think there'll be a lot of Yankee fans clamoring. As somebody pointed out recently, the Yankees' last World Series is getting ready to get its driver's license because it's turning 16.
Yeah, we did need to point out that Mike Hutzel wanted to enough to show up live and talk trash, but he did on text.
It's nice. It's nice to drop those clever one-liners and then not show up to deliver them vocally.
That's right. So although to be fair to Mike Hutzel, he would be happy to say it to your face.
Well, I'm channeling Mike, so it's a pretty good.
It is.
So, Paul, do you think? I don't think the National League has the three best teams because I do believe Toronto is better than Milwaukee. I do think the Dodgers and the Phillies. The Dodgers, they have been there before,
and their payroll is $1 billion.
The Toronto, when they're hitting, if they continue to hit like they're hitting, they're going to be tough to eliminate.
I think they could surprise a whole lot of people, especially on this show, who have been talking all season long about all the good teams that are in the National League, and the American League's pretty weak. They went through a stretch where they didn't score runs in September, Toronto, but they look pretty complete. When they throw a bullpen game like that, it's pretty impressive.
They look good against the American League, I'll admit that.
Well, you know what?
Correct. So the Phillies are up 8-1 in the ninth. Paul, you give them a chance to win 3 straight.
I think you called that last night. You were very prescient about them winning today.
Yes, I said they'd win going away. I did say I do think the Dodgers will win the series. I just think the Phillies can get this done.
I think it all comes down to tomorrow. I don't see obviously their only chance of beating the Dodgers is to win tomorrow, but they're in the driver's seat, and they took out who I think is the Dodgers' best pitcher tonight. If you could tell me that the Phillies are 2-2 and going back home to face the Dodgers, I think I would go. If I had a bookie, I would go talk to him about placing a bet for the Phillies.
And that's if they do even it up and go home 2-2, that stadium is going to be will be rocking.
I was just going to say the Dodger fans, I'm sure they're filing out of that stadium right now. The Phillies fans would stay to the bitter end, and they might be a little morose.
Exactly. Yes.
The question is, are the Cubs going to be able to even the series against the Brewers?
That's where I was headed next.
I think the Cubs were lucky to win today, and I can't see them winning another game, even at home tomorrow. I'm going with the Brewers.
It wouldn't surprise me. I think I picked the Brewers to win. I think I picked it in 5. I think they are the better and more consistent team, and I think they'll get the Cubs. I give them a puncher's chance to advance to the World Series. I just don't think that they will.
Yeah, they scored 4 runs today. They were all in the first inning. The offense still doesn't look very good, even after scoring 4 runs today. I agree with both of you. I think this is over.
If the Brewers had started any other pitcher besides Priester, in my opinion, he had an ERA of over 8 against the Cubs this year, and I don't know.
He had an ERA of 54 today.
Yes, he certainly didn't improve that at all. But as soon as he's gone, again, I don't know what his situation is, why he can't pitch against the Cubs, but once he was gone, the Cubs just did absolutely nothing, just like they've kind of been doing in the series.
And the only game on Friday, the Tigers at Seattle. Seattle has the home field advantage. Does Detroit have the pitching advantage? And what are you guys expecting?
It's easy to pick the Tigers because of the Skubal factor, but he's not going to pitch 9 innings. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game, but that's about the only thing I would be confident about. But I would still pick the Mariners. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened with the Tigers today. But if I were the pitching coach for the Mariners, I would never throw Javi Baez a strike. He knocked in 4 runs today when they put the ball over the middle of the plate when he'll swing at anything in the dirt.
He's been a big key for him. I think low scoring, and I think that kind of favors Seattle, and I could be wrong, Seattle, because I just think they have more difference makers, guys that can hit a home run and have in this series. At home, you talk about a fan base that was thrilled to finally get a home playoff game win. Talk about a fan base there's going to be energy. People will leave work early to make sure they get to the ballpark to watch the Mariners Friday night.
I agree with you 100% in the first 3 innings. But if the Mariners get behind, you're going to see written on every face the same thing we saw in Yankee Stadium tonight. It's like, no, not again. Here's another year. And here are the Mariners heavily favored. Why they're in a Game 5 with the Tigers is surprising. And they're going to need to get somebody besides Josh Naylor looking like they have their hitting clothes on.
But Naylor has not really impressed me as much at the plate.
Though.
Well, yeah, maybe today, but I've thought that he's had some at bats where he's been a little bit of a disappointing. Polanco did well. Is Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh has been pretty effective at the plate.
He's had a good series.
It will be interesting. If the Mariners can keep those fans on their feet for 9 and feed off that energy, that can easily be a game where a base running error, a fielding error,
correct,
makes a difference in the outcome of that game. I think that's how close and low scoring that game will be. That could very well be huge.
I agree. I think it's the team that can get the guy from second to third or from third to home with the leadoff runner. There's nobody out on second base. If you can get that guy in, You're going to win that game, I think.
Here's my prediction. 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, runners on second and third. Gino Suarez at the plate watches strike 3 down the middle like an idiot. Because I've seen it. Because I've seen it before as a Reds fan.
The only consolation for the Yankee fans tonight is that Aaron Judge was up with 2 outs in the ninth inning and got an RBI hit rather than make the last out of this season. But yes, I think the Mariners fans, if it came down, they needed somebody to come through, and Eugenio Suarez was up at bat. Game 5 are always great for drama, so I just think it could go either way.
And he's looked every bit of the player I expect him to be in this series.
Hasn't he hit a home run?
He did. I expect him to hit some home runs from time to time.
No.
And also strike out way too much.
If he could get a 3-run homer, it might make up for all the strikeouts.
It's been a fun week of baseball, guys. A couple more tomorrow. Let's do it again.
Let's keep it going and stay excited.
Well, you guys have both earned some Scooby snacks. Good night. Michelle kept referring to Scooble as Scooby. It didn't make the cut in the podcast, but that was the reference there at the end. Not only will we have more MLB throughout the next couple of weeks, we also have IU, Purdue, Pacers, Fever, IndyCar, Colts, and high school football and basketball podcast. We are here podcasting about Central Indiana sports every single day. Please share. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.